Hi, first graders. I'm Miss Ball, and I teach first grade at Roosevelt Elementary in Spokane Public Schools, and I'm here to do another numberless word problem with you today. So our goal today says I can draw a model and solve word problems. So to be able to draw your model, you really have to think about what is happening in the story to make sense of that, and then draw some model that's going to help you be able to solve what's happening. We're going to break that down step by step for you today. So first of all, our word problem today is going to be about something called mud skippers. I don't know if you've ever heard of mud skippers before, but they are found along the coast of Africa, Asia, and Australia. Here's a picture of a mud skipper. There are more than 30 species of them, and the unique thing about mud skippers is that they are a fish, but they can breathe both in and out of the water. So sometimes you'll see them using their flippers to skip across the land or the mud, and they'll just hang out on the beach. They even can use special suction cups to climb trees. So here's a picture of a mud skipper climbing a tree. So I was reading this article in Ranger Rick about mud skippers, and I thought it would be fun to do a numberless word problem about them today. So if you want to follow along, I'll give you a second to grab a piece of paper and something to write with. And if you want, you can just watch and follow along in your mind. And if you're watching at home and can pause the video, that's sometimes helpful too. All right, so the first part of our word problem says, there are some mud skippers hanging out on the beach. Some more skip out of the water to join them. So first of all, what do you picture in your mind? So I showed you a picture of those mud skippers. Can you picture some mud skippers hanging out on the beach and some more that skip out of the water to join them? Do you think there might be a lot of mud skippers or just a few mud skippers? All right, let's go on to the next part of the problem. This time, I want you to listen for what might change. So it says there are some mud skippers hanging out on the beach. 23 more skip out of the water to join them. Did you hear what changed? What was the difference? And how can you use a model to help show what was different? So are there more mud skippers than you were thinking in the beginning? It says there were some mud skippers hanging out on the beach. 23 more skip out of the water to join them. So when these ones skip out of the water, that means there are going to be more mud skippers than there were in the beginning hanging out on the beach. Let's see what happens next. Think about what changed. There are 31 mud skippers hanging out on the beach. 23 more skip out of the water to join them. I cover that beginning one up. So what has changed now? Let me read that one more time. There are 31 mud skippers hanging out on the beach. 23 more skip out of the water to join them. What might our model look like? Do we want to draw 31 mud skippers on the beach and 23 more? Would that take a lot of time to draw them one by one? Or maybe we can think of a different way to do that. Take a minute to sketch out your model and think about what question could you ask about this situation. So I'm going to start with drawing 31 mud skippers, and I'm going to use our tens and ones model to help with this. So I'm going to draw 3 bundles of 10 to show 30. 10, 20, 30. And I'm going to draw one dot to show that there were 31 mud skippers hanging out on the beach. And I know 23 more skip out of the water to join them. So I know this number is going to get bigger. So I'm going to model this by showing a plus sign. And I'm going to use my tens and ones to draw 23. So 10, 20, 21, 22, 23. And what question could I ask about this? I could say maybe how many mud skippers were there all together on the beach? So our very final paper says there are 31 mud skippers hanging out on the beach. 23 more skip out of the water to join them. How many mud skippers are on the beach now? So you've done all the work. You've drawn your model. You've thought about what's happening. Now you just have to answer the question. You need to replay the story in your mind and think about what could you draw. So we have a model already over here that can help us out. We can use that to figure out how many there are altogether. I see in the number 31, there are 3 tens and 1 1. And I can put that with my 23 with 2 tens and 3 1s. And when I put this together, I can see together there are 5 tens, which is 50, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And then I can count my ones, 51, 52, 53, 54. So I can see that there are 54 mud skippers on the beach altogether. And if you wanted to write this with an equation, then you could say 31 plus 23 more equals 54. So thanks for doing a numberless word problem with me today. You drew a model to help you make sense of the problem, and you solved the word problem today. Bye, everybody.
Hey, first grade, it's Mrs. Yuhara here, and are you ready to do a math riddle? Okay, this one that I found is a little bit tricky. There's some tricky parts. So are you ready to do some thinking? That's all you need today for this math activity. It's just your brain. So let's do it. So our first clue, remember riddles are kind of those funny things that stretches our brain so that we can get to the answer, and it might seem like it could be one answer, but then it turns out to be a different answer, and sometimes it's kind of funny, and sometimes it's kind of like, oh yeah, riddles. All right, so our math riddle, let's get started. Let's find our first clue. The first clue. Ooh, well. The number is less than 34. Now remember, we're working with these signs in math that are a form of communication. They help our reader and help us as the reader understand what we're trying to do in math. So when the sign looks like this, kind of like a squishy or a squishy L, that means less than. And remember, if it goes the other way, it's greater than. Okay, so we've got that. So we know the number is less than 34. Okay, well, there's a lot of numbers less than 34. What I do know is that it's not 35. Because 35 is greater than 34. So it's going to be all the numbers that come before 34. Can the number also be 34? Nope, because let's read this together. The number is less than 34. So we're not going to start with 34. Let's make a list of the numbers that it could be based on this first clue. And we know we're not writing down 34 because it has to be less than that. So let's do a little counting backwards. We've got 33. The number before 33 is 32, 31, 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. I hope you're counting at home. 23, 22, 21. Whisper it really loud. What is it? I heard you. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whoa. If I counted forwards, so we kind of have to do it backwards here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. And then we counted backwards. So we know the number is less than 34. It could be any of these numbers. Do you have any idea what number it is yet? I am feeling a little confused. It could be any of those numbers. I'm gonna need some more information. I need another clue. All right, let's keep looking. The next clue. Oh, this is a good one. The number, oh, good thing we wrote this down. The number is greater than 8. Okie dokie. So if it's greater than 8, oh boy. So wait, if it's greater than 8, is 9 greater than 8? Yes, 9 is greater than 8. Is 7 greater than 8? No, so let's cross it off. Is 6 greater than 8? No. Is 5? Nope. 4? See ya. 3? I don't think so. 2? 1? Nope. And 0? Now, let's read this really carefully. Make sure that we're hearing, we understand this correctly. The number is greater than 8. So could it be 8? No. Okay, I'm feeling better. So none of these numbers can be our mystery number, but all of these can be our mystery number. Yowzers, that's a lot of numbers to choose from. Do you have a guess? You can make a guess. See how close you get. All right, let's see. Let's move on. Ooh, the number is said when skip counting by 5s. Now maybe you know how to do skip counting by 5s. I like to get my 5 poppers out when I'm doing my skip counting or counting by 5s, and I like to make jumps of 5. So if I do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, and so on. Now we know the number is less than 34, so I'm not going to keep going. But if I know that it's one of those numbers that I say when I'm skip counting, let's see if we can find them. I'm going to circle them in red. So I know when I'm doing this, 5. So it could be 5. Nope. You know why it can't be 5? Because the number is greater than 8. So can it be any of these? Nope. So even though I say 5 when I'm skip counting by 5s, my other clue says no, 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 because it is great. It is because 5 is less than 8. Okay, so if it's not 5, what about 10? Yep, that one's available. So let's go back. 5, nope. 10, 15. Ooh. Yep, that's up there. It could be 15. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, here it is. What number comes after 20 when I'm skip counting by fives? Yep, 25. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Oh, is it 35? Nope, because the number is less than 34. So now we're down to, here's what the numbers could be. It could be 10. It could be 15. These are our options. It could be 20, 25, or 30. Those are our choices. Those are the choices. Now, were one of your numbers that you guessed before, are we close? Or is it already one that we kind of eliminated, that we said, nope, it can't be that number? And if it is if you guessed a number that is no longer on our list, we just say, maybe next time. It's okay. That's what riddles are about. They stretch your brain. So let's see. Let's find our last clue, which I think is going to be super helpful. Oh, the number. Let's read it. The number is 10 plus 10. Double fact. We love our doubles. 10 plus 10. What's 10 plus 10? 20. Woohoo! Woohoo! Hopefully you're doing a silent party. And now we figured it out. Thanks for learning with me today. See you next time.